C is compatibility. And our word is aloha. You have a word for it in your language. We are social beings. Look at this. We're all together. And unless you live in a cave, you have to learn to be compatible and get along. You have to be thoughtful about the dignity of others and to take care of the relationships that exist between you. And so it's important here for the fifth C to have aloha, what we call aloha, or compatibility. Now, I'll talk a bit about what I consider to be the 5 core principles and 5 key attributes. And now I want to talk briefly about some selected aspects of chiefly leadership, and I'll speak about 2. First, the importance of spirituality as a foundation for your leadership. And secondly, the importance of self-knowledge. That is, in terms of knowledge of place and knowledge of your ancestors. We'll do that now. Hi. Let's see, we're getting there, huh? Hi. Tupa. Thank you. I know you're with me. All right. Now I'll talk first about spirituality. There's an old Hawaiian saying that says the land cannot live under an irreligious chief. That is, a chief who is not filled with spirituality. And when I speak about spirituality, I'm speaking generally about things spiritually and not particularly about any religious persuasion. The spirituality is far broader than that. It's what I consider to be a belief in powers greater than we are. Traditionally, spirituality is the foundation of all of our cultures because we are close to nature. And I think that in modern life we somehow forgot about this because as we get more godlike in controlling our environment and not being subject to the vagaries of nature, we forget that we are about too small. If it rains or snows, you're not going to get wet or cold. If I want to make the sun go down, you'll hit the flood switch. The only God can do that. If I want to make the sun rise, come on, light switch. We can detour the courses of rivers, cut down mountains, or build them. We can even create life in wombs that have theretofore been barren, and we can prolong life far beyond nature was taken. So as we get more godlike, I think in the modern world, some of us, we forget that there are greater spirits. Spirituality gives us a sense of proportion and a source of guidance. And something that it's inherent in our genes, in our DNA. And I always thought that, I observed that in times of trouble, people fall out for 2 things. Who do they fall out for? Help. God and mom. Who else? Mom. Now, I had the fortune or misfortune of serving as a platoon sergeant in paratroopers in Vietnam. I led people in the jungle in Vietnam. And when we got in trouble, it always surprised me that my men would call out for God and they'd call out for mom. Why did they call out for me? I had the radio. The moms can't call in airstrikes and helicopter gunships and hell. I had the radio. So what I determined after thinking about this, we can understand why they call out for God. But what I determined is that they're not calling out for the mother that mated with the man who became their father and sired them. They're calling out for the universal rule. They're calling out for their ancestors. Things greater than them. And I always thought, wouldn't it be wiser if we called out for help before we got into trouble, rather than when we are already in trouble? Shouldn't we say that prayer or send that supplication to the heavens or to your mother or whoever it's called before you get into trouble and not wait for that to be done? And I think the sense of spirituality is very important, and we need to develop it, and we need to practice it. And if you find it in your church, then go there. If you find it in nature, go there. If you find it in the wonderment of the children and the generations that go forward, then go there. If you find it in art, music, dance, and other creative things that are not intellectual but spiritual, then go there. Because leaders should be sacred. Sacred leaders are found. So let me switch gears now and talk for a moment about the other aspect that I wanted to talk about of chiefly leadership, and that has to do with self-knowledge. Right. Let's start with an exercise. Everybody go like this. Say mountain.
Mountain.
Valley.
Valley.
River.
River.
Ocean.
Ocean.
Sapulo. Wind.
Wind.
Rain.
Rain.
I make the sign. You say the word, but don't make the sign.
Mountain. Valley.
Mountain was weak. Mountain was weak.
Mountain. Valley. River. Ocean. Wind. Rain.
I say the word, you show me the sign. Mountain. Valley. River. Ocean. Wind. Rain. All right, you didn't know it? You're going to have homework. I'm giving you a homework assignment now. We're talking about knowing ourselves in terms of our places. And traditional people know this. The reason they know this is because that sense of place, which is what we're talking about now, gives you a sense of proportion. And it also gives you a sense of permanence. No matter how long your life, it's that short in the span of time. But if we associate ourselves with places in nature that are timeless, that are important, that are places of our spirit, that we live on when our earthly life is gone. So here's your homework. I want you to find for yourself, sooner rather than later, the mountain, valley, river, ocean, and wind and rain of your spirit that you associate with. Now, somebody always asks, usually they're lawyers or accountants. Now, can you tell me, at what elevation does a hill become actually a mountain? Now, does it have to be a place that's real? Do I have to see it? Well, you know what? There are no rules here. I have a young lady who told me that Mount Fuji in Japan was her mountain because her grandmother had climbed it and spoke of it fondly. She still, my grandmother had passed on, but she still remembered her grandmother who raised her. The smell of her grandmother and her voice as she talked to London and it was Mount Fuji. So Mount Fuji was that young lady. I had another case in which an executive told me that his ocean was a place called Lake Wilson in Honolulu. And Lake Wilson is a muddy pond, green stuff growing. And somebody next to him said, Lake Wilson is not an ocean. And I said, would you like to tell us why Lake Wilson is the ocean of your spirit? He said, yes, because I'm from the Midwest, and where I came from, I never saw an ocean. There were no lakes near me. And I transferred in here in high school. And my father was in the military, and we lived at Schofield Barracks on base. And Lake Wilson was nearby. And when I was 15 and I went to high school, and I met this love